Live.
How's the doctor?
It was kind of delightful, actually.
It always it's funny. It's always how Craig describes it. He's been going for these daily colonoscopies that he's been demanding, and they're like, Craig, first of all, at your age, you shouldn't need a colonoscopy, and certainly not every day. And he says, "Well, I just want to go till they find something," and he kind of licks his lips.
Yeah, my uncle one time I drove him to get his colonoscopy,
Mm-hmm.
and I pick him up and I go, "How was it?" And he goes, "I asked for seconds," and then didn't speak much on the way home.
That's fun.
Yeah,
Little anal sex jokes there, folks.
they always
Little
play.
anal probing jokes.
Always plays. I think.
No, Craig is dying of colon cancer, so he won't be with us too much longer.
That's right.
So thoughts and prayers. Go to verygoodShow.org to donate.
Yeah, help my wife buy a casket.
Well, I had a lovely time in Vegas. Thanks for asking.
I was gonna, but then you kind of just started asking about my ass.
Had a great time. We'll get into it. But first, I figured. Oh no! Before we get into anything, I should say Steve was on KMS today. Always lovely to see him. It seemed like he's kind of honing in on your boy there.
On
You aware of this?
On Jerry?
Oh yeah.
What did he say?
I like that Craig was about to pretend he knows what I'm talking. Oh yeah. No, it's
well, I've talked to Steve in the last couple weeks.
I don't know. It was very mysterious. There were some mysterious conversations going on. It seems like the thought is that Jerry will be part of this main wire business.
Oh, so Steve reached out asking to come on to Jerry's show.
Oh wow!
So
asking.
Yeah, because he to like promote the main wire and all that.
Wow, that's big.
And I relayed the message, and I'm assuming that's why they spoke.
Okay. Well, two great business minds at work.
Yeah.
Would you try and be part of the main wire if that was the case? Would you leave with Jerry?
Yeah, of course. They're meant to be, I think.
I think that was said on the show today, actually. I think Kirk said that. It was inevitable, I believe was the word.
Yeah. They're going to go on. The show will blow past the 55-minute mark.
Yes.
They'll just be like, this is great.
I missed that. I'm sorry. That's funny. And now we have to do 110 minutes.
Once this train rolls, it can't stop.
Yeah. Well, that's why you got to, again, support Very Good Show, because Craig could be out of a job soon.
Maybe.
Jerry will leave him high and dry.
Thank God he doesn't. My Bruce pays my checks.
What's been happening? Oh, another question.
Yep.
Before we get into the big, the news of the day and everything,
mm-hmm.
In my Skankfest recap that I'm sure everyone's waiting for, I heard a little birdie told me that Justin has been doing your show. He's on your show again.
Yeah, he was on twice.
Is he replacing Mike?
No, but Mike's fragile right now, so who knows? I don't think if Mike leaves, I don't think we would do a permanent replacement.
Oh, interesting. No one could fill that seat.
No one could fill that seat. Plus,
no one could assemble a list like he did.
Right. Plus, Tim and Matt live like right down the road from me now, so it's just way easier.
It'd be a lot easier. What is Justin's expertise that you're calling on? What is he being summoned in for?
We're just goofing, just the boys getting together and goofing. We're
no reason.
Yeah, no, nothing at all.
Interesting.
Interesting. David, I forgot to send it to him. Dave asked for the sound, but I'm like, I really don't know if you'll be able to use it because we don't talk about anything like that or KMS at all,
Right. I think it's more for, perhaps a few flubs were made or something like that. Things fun to poke fun at, I would imagine. Is what he was angling for.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I guess. Any of our shows is like that, though.
Sure. Yes. So go to verygoodshow.org for all of that audio. Or you go to blindmike.net. Support this here Patreon. We got big things coming on the Patreon. Always cooking. So if you want to subscribe to that, please do. Or if you'd rather support the show for free. If you say, hey, I'm not convinced, buddy, show me a little more. Then, at the very least, maybe you can support the show for free by going to Apple, Spotify, YouTube, all the places you get the show. Leave a 5-star review, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff that you do to support podcasts, because we need it. A lot of podcasts ask for that stuff. We actually need it. So if you want to, really help out, give back, and make your donation count, give it to us.
Don't be rude. Help us out.
Yeah. So, I think I should play the audio first, because I feel like it's a good lead-in to Skankfest. A guest that our friend Kevin Clancy had on the other day.
Oh, Daniel.
Yes. So, by the way, we got a message from a not converted, I guess, but crossover WATP fan, someone that heard me on WATP and started listening.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, when you talk about these Barstool guys, I'm not up on Barstool. He goes, let me know who they are. So I should alert the people that don't know out there. Hopefully there's a few of them. Kevin Clancy, for those of you that don't know, was one of the top tier guys at Barstool. Kind of got lost in the shuffle. He's gone by the wayside. The place has passed him by a little bit. And he does a podcast now that is led by Feidelberg. He tries to drag Feidelberg down and make him less funny. And so that's his role there now. But no, he's like one of the original guys over at Barstool. And he has beef with me for some reason. He doesn't like me. I never quite understood why fully. But one of the reasons he doesn't like me is because I poked fun at him when he had Nikki Glazer on to apologize after the Legion of Skanks made fun of her very serious song to Bob Saget. Kevin Clancy was on that episode, and he said, "Hey, girl, let me tell you something right quick.
Hey, girl.
You
Look good.
You looking all sorts of fine, girl. Let me hit you with something."
Delicious.
And then he apologized after making all sorts of creepy noises like that. So I'm terribly sorry, and wept in her arms and begged for her forgiveness. And I made fun of that, as I felt you should do. And it's funny to hear Kevin's reaction, because with me, he was incensed. He was very angry. But let's see what happens when a peer of the Skanks, Big J. Okerson's radio partner, Dan Soder, is in studio. The topic of Shane Gillis comes up. And they start getting into it, and it'll pay off. Don't worry.
And even I think one time he quote tweeted Patton Oswalt. I think when Oswalt did that ridiculous apology for taking a picture with Dave Chappelle, and I think Shane just had a quick quote tweet with an emoji, he didn't even say anything, but just kind of a haha, you dickhead. And that was the only time he ever meant even referenced anything. And I think he was that felt good.
Yeah,
I had to get one off because I guess he was one of the guys who railed against him so hard.
Because I grew up loving Patton Oswalt, and Chappelle's my favorite comedian of all time. And if you're just buddies with somebody for 30 years, and then they apologize for taking a picture with you,
that was one
you
of the
gotta
most
be kind of hurt.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, come on, man, we're friends. What the hell, man? I want to take a picture with you, man. And he's like, I'm sorry, I was photographed with him.
That's one of the more offensive things you can say about someone when you think about it. You know what I mean? I'm sorry.
Or apologize for being on a podcast. Pretty good rip of you.
I'll tell you what.
Atta boy, Daddy.
His face is so great during it too.
It's very funny. It's just hilarious to hear Kevin go, that's one of the worst things. I wonder if Dan didn't stop him, if he would have just gone all the way to I think you should be executed if you do something like that. They should bring you to the town square and light you on fire and make your friends and family watch.
Just do all those phrases Kevin uses like that.
Yeah, I don't think crucifixion is enough to do to someone that's so horrible for society. Now, Kevin handles it very well. I'll play it for one more second, can we?
Yep.
Skanks and Bonfire have been fucking. You guys, this has rocked the world.
I love it, dude.
Of that
Skanks fans, I try to explain to people when they go to Skankfest because they're like, "Is it gonna be crazy?" You're like, "They're the best comedy."
Pause 1 second. So now Kevin tried to make it into a thing. He's like, "This has rocked the world. People won't stop talking about this." And Dan's like, "Yeah, let's move on to a different topic."
He saved him from burying himself, I think.
Yeah, well, so I don't think Dan Soder's a particularly confrontational guy. They're having fun with it, and I'll tell you, if Kevin reacted like that to what I originally said, it never would have been an issue. I don't think.
I think it's a you thing, not a substance thing.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. Is he tried to make it seem like I was in the wrong, like I surreptitiously filmed him and released this dirty little audio clip that I've discovered, I've dug up on him, and tried to get him canceled. It's like, no, Kevin, you fucked up. You sounded like an idiot on a podcast. I made fun of it. Those guys made fun of it, and now Soder makes fun of it. It's like, why not just react like that to everyone? You know?
I think he had the biggest issues that you told Lewis.
Well, yeah, like they wouldn't have. I told Lewis.
Like he,
Hey, Lewis, you know this extremely successful podcast that's been running for 12 years? They had a very famous guest on. I know it's a big secret. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag.
I need her to go on Skanks.
I'm sure she will. I thought she was going to. I'll give you that reveal in a little while. But yeah, I just thought that was very funny to hear Kevin like, oh man, what low level scum would do something like that and throw their friends under the bus. And that's where it's like, I like Kevin if he wasn't just an asshole to me. And so I saw someone say on Twitter like, oh, you really think you and Dan Soder are on the same level? And it's like, no, of course not. That's my point.
Of course not. I'm way above him.
You can't treat people differently because they're famous. You know what I mean? Like, you should treat the little guy the same as you do someone who's very successful. I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but
No, I agree. And plus, I don't think Dan Soder wants to be treated differently for that.
right, yeah, he doesn't want you laughing at shit that you otherwise wouldn't laugh at, you know?
Right.
So
But that
I just
Chappelle
found that very funny.
that Chappelle impression is like top notch.
Well, Dan Soder's great at impressions. For anyone who doesn't know Dan Soder, just search on YouTube Dan Soder, Bonfire, Winnie the Pooh. And it is a tremendous impression.
I feel like that might have been one of the first things we ever did on just a Patreon only content. I
think we played that at some point, yeah, for some reason.
That and his Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah, he did. Oh, you know what? His Sam Elliott is very good too.
His Macho Man Randy Savage impression was so good they actually used him for a video game.
He lost out on SNL to Pete Davidson. Fun fact.
I'm sure he's well, I guess he could have been banging like Kim Kardashian.
He could be banging a Kardashian right now.
But oh man. I mean,
he's dating Katie Nolan, as a matter of fact.
Yep, everyone likes her.
Well, you know, listen. I'm sure she's lovely.
She might be. I mean, she's gonna have some sort of sense. I mean, he's not gonna be with someone that can't take jokes.
Oh, Dan Soder's a real catch. So good for Katie.
I mean, like if she can't joke around and stuff, he's not gonna put up with that. I don't think. Although,
you said it, Craig. Let's dish.
Although I was gonna say, there's a famous story that Big J always tells when Dan was with one of his ex-girlfriends and ruined the whole night when they went to like some show.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't know enough details to say reiterate it on a podcast.
Right. I think they were gonna go to like McDonald's or something as a group, and that was the big thing that Dan got hung up on because he couldn't get burgers with the boys. Go find it. It's funny.
Go listen to the Bonfire, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Skankfest was awesome. I had a great time. I can't say anything crazy. So the special guests were the first night Nate Bargatze showed up.
Isn't that crazy that
was a surprise?
Now that he's a special guest.
I know. Well, so the first year that I went, he was still drinking back then, and the big guests were Jim Gaffigan and Artie Lang. And Nate opened that show, and he was fucked up, and he kind of stumbled over his first joke, and he goes, man, I probably shouldn't be up here. And now he's like one of the guys. So yeah, he was a special guest. I also think he's at the level, and I don't mean level of fame, like level of cleanliness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's made his bones on being a clean, kind of family-friendly guy. I don't think they can promote that he's there. You know what I mean? Like, I think if he ever goes, he has to be a special guest because they can't sell Skankfest with Nate Bargatze for whatever reason. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know if that's true. I've just heard them say that about certain people, and he would be one where that would make perfect sense.
Yeah.
And the other special guest drop in was on one of the live Skanks episodes, Whitney Cummings.
I saw a picture of that.
Yeah, it was cool, and she was very cool, and she let some guy. This is all very hard to explain, but some guy who won like the smallest penis contest.
Yep. I saw a brief part of that.
Yeah, she let him like feel her pussy over her pants.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know if that was a moment of her like, see guys, I'm cool, but it seemed kind of chill of her, I guess you could say.
She's single again?
Or there's a disgruntled boyfriend at home. I don't know.
I can't imagine he loved that.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's all for entertainment, I suppose.
True.
And then what I thought was going to be a third huge drop in was in the Skanks did a live podcast every day, and on the Sunday, the night after Whitney Cummings came, they go, all right, guys, like we had Whitney Cummings last night. We told you on Sunday, a lot of big comics are going to be dropping in as they get off the road. And then Dave Smith kind of interrupts Lewis and goes, and guys, be cool because it's really awesome that she's here. Like, just give her a chance. She's going to come hang out with us. And it's really cool that she dropped in. Ladies and gentlemen, Amy Schumer. And the place goes fucking bananas. They're chanting Amy. They were jumping on each other's shoulders. Oh, it's going crazy. Like, oh, that's nuts. Amy would come here. And Tim Dillon walks out.
Did he know they were going to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd have been so funny if he didn't.
They go, Tim, how is your vagina?
That would have been pretty neat, though, if she actually did do that. But maybe she'll actually see the response.
Yeah, so the interesting thing is that I thought in that moment was watching that crowd react like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, that's what she should do. Is go on a show like that would make fun of her. You know what I mean? The same way Whitney did, kind of, where it's like, give them shit, because she can talk shit with them. She's funny enough to hang with those guys. Not saying she's as funny as Big J or any of them, but like she can give them shit back a little bit in a way that would endear her to people, you know?
Right. Exactly.
So that was pretty cool. Who's calling me right now, for the love of Christ? Don't you know? That's interesting. I gotta call. I don't. I'll put it this way. I don't know if this person is trying to prank call into my show now or if it was an actual phone call.
Really?
But I'll get back to them.
You can give him my number and he can call in anytime.
Anyways, I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, so this will give you a little taste of the environment of Skankfest and the reason it's kind of a cool hang. And also the reason that I have no interest in bringing podcast equipment there, just because it's not the vibe.
Right.
Like,
God forbid you take a vacation, Mike.
Well, but I'm not even saying that, because I don't mind taking 20 minutes to work or whatever, you know?
Right.
But work is extreme, but you know what I mean. But my thing is, like, they're getting off stage doing live podcasts. Like, as far as they know, I'm just a guy. Like, other than Lewis and Shane, no one there knows who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people there have podcasts that are seemingly as, well known as mine. So with that logic, anyone could just walk up to them and say, hey, do my podcast. And they're like, well, no, I'm off to the next show. They're all going to different stages doing stand. So it's just not the environment for it. It wouldn't make any sense there. But what's that?
Kirk, Steve's grandma says, bring back Hanging with Blind Mike, but this time Mike Harris is the special guest.
Well, we might have to do that. That's interesting.
That is an interesting. I know it has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I need to say it before I forgot it, because that's a great idea.
That is good. We haven't done Hanging with Blind Mike in a while, and we should.
Everyone's been happy.
Yeah, maybe that's been it. Maybe that's why I haven't been inspired to do it lately.
It's usually when I start feeling like dark clouds. I'm like, well, next week I'm gonna get I'm doing Hang with Blind Mike. Is Matt around?
Oh, so to give you a little vibe on what it's like there. It's comics and fans pretty much interacting with each other the whole time. And I went to the bathroom. There's a long line for the bathroom. And I finally get to the front, and I walk up to a urinal. And and when I'm done pissing, I turn around and I hear, "What's up, Mike?" And it's Shane, like 6 people behind me. And like he's very, he's more affectionate than I realize. He comes up and fucking grabs me, startles me.
He was on mushrooms.
And oh yeah, I'm sure.
I
But
heard
my first thought was, I go, you have to wait in line with us for the bathroom? There's not a bathroom in the green room?
That's got to be fucking annoying for someone, especially of his level.
Yeah, well, not just his level. Someone that's drinking 6 Bud Lights an hour.
Well, no, what I mean is just being in a line like that with everyone that's like, "Oh my god, I
What up,
fucking
Shane?"
love you so much."
Yeah.
You fucking dummy.
They did a funny show, by the way. Matt and Shane did a live show. They said after the success of the President's podcast, they broke down the Crusades.
Live?
And they spent an hour on this subject that clearly Matt studied and knew about, McCusker.
Mm-hmm.
And but like you could tell the crowd was getting like rowdy and they're talking amongst themselves. And every once in a while, Shane would interject with like teacher energy. "Hey, knock it off back there. You're learning something." So that was very funny. And also,
Did Matt do stand up?
McCusker?
Yeah.
I'm sure somewhere. I didn't see it
Oh,
because there were 6 stages going on at once.
he's so fucking funny. Anyway,
He's very
sorry.
funny. Yeah. Yeah, I hope he puts out like a half hour or something at some point.
I pray to God he does.
The other thing we did involving Shane was we went to Robert Kelly's YKWd the first night.
Yep.
And it was Dan Soder, Joe List, Louis J. Gomez, Shane Gillis, and Bobby Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
And we get in. Oh, so I should say this. Louis sees me the first day and immediately grabs my cane and throws it into the crowd. And then very quickly he was like, give it back. And I hear Dave Smith say, "Give the blind guy a golden ticket. Golden ticket lets you cut the lines," which is a big deal because the lines are a pain in the ass there.
Mm-hmm.
So later when he saw me like waiting to get in, he like goes up and shakes my hand again, and he yells to the line that's waiting. He goes, "I'm giving this blind piece of shit a golden ticket." Thank you, Louis. So that made the lines a lot easier for me. Oh, which this was also funny. I guess some guy in a wheelchair was in the front row at one of the shows.
Fuck this guy.
Well, no, so that guy got a golden ticket as well.
Oh, that was so funny if Lewis threw his chair into the crowd.
Yeah. So they were talking, and they were like, Lewis was basically like, "This guy should be really thankful that I gave him a golden ticket." And Big J goes, "We wouldn't have just let him in? He's in a fucking wheelchair." So, anyways, I tell that story to say that we got into YKWd first, and the people I was with were like, "Let's sit in the front row," and I was like, "Oh, I'd rather not." And they were like, "Come on," and I was like, "All right, odds are they're just going to be doing a show. They're not going to acknowledge me."
Uh-huh.
Within like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, Lewis says something. I don't react. And he goes, "Oh, fuck, that's Blind Mike. I thought it was some asshole ignoring me." And I'm like, hello. And so, of course, Bobby goes, "This guy's blind." And that's, that's pretty much the rest of the show I'm being referenced.
No shit. So are these episodes coming out? Or are they just
I believe that one will.
Because I've been looking.
I believe that one will. And it'll be sporadic, but like some will, some won't.
Because I was looking for the other YKWd I saw, which basically looked like an O&A reunion.
I don't know about that.
It was Robert Kelly, Rich Voss, Norton, and someone else. I forget who, but
Oh,
they
I wasn't at that one. But luckily, Lewis and Bobby were on this podcast because then fucking like we get the old school Comedy Cellar mentality from Bobby, where he's making fun of me and I'm in on it, and then he starts making fun of Alba. I'm like, oh God. And then Shane and Lewis jump in and start shitting on Bobby. And then Shane starts like hitting on Alba jokingly, and I'm like, all right, thank God. I don't have to answer for this now when I get home.
I better come out. I'm gonna listen. Let me check. I'm gonna listen to that as soon as that fucking drops.
I'll keep you posted. I'll keep an eye out for it. But that was very funny. Another big event was Big J's special taping.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he taped a special there. He filmed 2 shows. Ari Shafir directed and produced it. And it was interesting to see professional Ari.
Yeah.
Because Ari, spends most of his time fucking dosing people with acid and celebrating Kobe Bryant's death. He's a hooligan. He's a scoundrel.
As one will do, yep.
Yeah. But this year, he's sober for Sober October, and he's directing this special. So he was very, as I'm entering, he's right at the door. And he goes, hey, man, I know it might be difficult for you. Just try and keep it down because we're recording in there. And I was like, yeah, okay. I was just on my way. And then I realized I thought it was just a guy, like security. And I was like, oh, that's Ari Shafir being polite for some reason. It's very odd.
The old Comedy Store Ari came back.
Yeah, I just thought it was an old Jew, but I guess it was.
That's pretty funny.
Trying to think of other highlights. It was a fun weekend, though. I would say my soberest, surprisingly, with it being in Vegas. I don't know why that is necessarily.
You didn't drink at all?
Oh no, I drank for sure, but I was drinking like Michelob Ultras, and it was hard. I'll tell you why. Maybe is it was just harder to get to and from the bar.
Oh, if there's giant lines, I'm just like, I'm not drinking today.
Yeah, I think that was more. Oh, here's another reason. I meant to tell you this. Here's another reason, maybe subconsciously. The first night we're there on the Thursday night, where it's like the VIPs, a smaller group of people. Lewis is doing his podcast, kind of like the opening ceremonies, if you will. And someone in the back passes out. The crowd just starts yelling, "Hey, we need help back here. Someone's not doing well." And they handle it very like Zach Amico tells everyone to clear out, very responsible, and they clear this person out. They have medic there or whatever they have to do, and like, oh, okay, someone just got fucked up on the first night. Next day, at Matt and Shane, someone passes out. At Skanks, someone passed out. People are now dropping like flies.
Jesus.
And I realized, I shouldn't say that. It was like 4 or 5 people passed out at shows I was at. And I think it was because, so like when I got off the plane and walked outside, immediately my throat started like drying up.
That hot?
Like that hot, but also the air. The air quality there is so much different than it is here.
Yeah.
Just drier and everything. So like it dries you out and you feel weird. And I think these people were not hydrating enough. So like we were pounding waters. We were like, this is not going to be us. Every round we went up, we're like, and 6 waters, please.
Yeah. Oh, that's fucking terrible. How was the flight out there?
Good. Oddly better than the flight to Houston, just because I was miserable with the mask and everything.
Yeah.
You don't have that anymore.
That's true. What was it, like a 6-hour flight? 7?
5.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah, I was thinking 6 also. I guess Vegas is slightly shorter
Nice.
than California, obviously. But yeah, overall it was a good time. I'm trying to think of any other notes. Kill Tony was another awesome show. Are you familiar with how he does that?
Yeah, like person goes up, does a minute, and then they get roasted, basically.
Yeah, so it's basically like open micers generally, and often people that have only done stand up once or twice in their lives, or sometime never. Like they're trying it for the first time. And Tony gives him a minute on stage. And then when that minute is up, Tony and whoever he has on for judges critique them. And they'll obviously roast them. And if the guy's a dickhead or something, then they'll really give him shit.
Yeah.
But overall, like they're pretty helpful and they have solid feedback and everything. And you can tell Tony takes it seriously and like is proud of like anyone. Like I think Kim Congdon and Ali Makovsky, who are both very funny, started on that show. David
guy-
Lucas is another one, right?
Yeah, the guy we just saw.
Yeah. Hans Kim, I think, is another one.
Bill Burr is like my all-time favorite appearance on that show. I don't know if you've seen it.
I have
And
not.
he go because it's just not a thing Bill Burr seems like he would enjoy.
No, not at all.
So he went up and then everyone started
Oh,
making
fuck, why are we making him do a minute? That's not going to tell us anything.
Yeah, so he started defending the comics and was like, "You go up and be funny for a minute." Like he just starts.
Yeah. Oh, I was right.
He starts trashing the whole show as a whole thing. It was very funny.
I liked it and thought it was very cool. But one girl went up who was trembling.
I imagine.
She was like visibly shaking, and goes, "Hi, I'm from California, and I can't. This is my second time doing stand-up." And then she fired off like 2 pretty solid jokes.
Was that part of it then? Maybe fake trembling.
No, it wasn't an act at all. Because after she was done, she was still trembling.
Oh shit.
And the crowd went nuts for her. They're all cheering and everything. And Big J just goes, "This really tells you how much easier it is to be an attractive woman. Can you imagine if just a lump of shit guy came up here and was like, I'm really nervous to be, I'm scared. It's only my second time." But yes,
I think that's very funny that Matt and Shane did a history lesson.
it was very funny. It was well done. And then they said they were going to do the same the second day. And I didn't go to the second show, but one of my buddies did. And he said that they were like, "Yeah, we didn't study enough to do that again today. So you're going to get an actual show."
I like how they're like with the success of the presidents. I'm like, you guys forget who your guest was?
Yeah, I think they were kidding a little bit.
Okay. I'm sure it was successful. It would have been successful. I actually found it very interesting.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, this was
No, they do a good job. Like I said, it was what Drunk History was supposed to be.
right. Exactly.
Where Drunk History became like people pretending to slur their words, basically. Whereas this is like McCusker, who just genuinely kind of talks like that.
Yep.
And he's like, "Nah, listen, dude, this is a pretty sick era."
These guys were monsters.
Yeah. What else? Yeah. I think that's about it. But yeah, I mean, I recommend any of you guys that like the comics that we like and talk about, you should definitely check it out. People I never knew of, by the way, check out. Have you ever seen Godfrey's stand up?
I've seen clips.
He's very funny. Like the first time I've ever seen him do stand up, he was hilarious.
Really?
Ray was another guy. Turae, I think his name is.
They have anything in common by any chance?
They did. And both very funny.
Dude, Miss Pat was actually funny too.
Just keep like you wouldn't believe it. It's quite a vibrant culture. No, Ali Makovsky had a great set. I'd never seen her do stand up. By the way, David Tell was hilarious, but I don't know how many more years of David Tell we have left.
Why?
He sounds rough.
I just listened to him on Rogan. He sounded fine.
His cough is, and maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know. He doesn't drink anymore, but
he smokes like crazy though.
I know. I'm saying maybe like if he's doing a festival, he smokes a shit ton more, which is making him cough more or something. But he sounded pretty rough.
I do know. Did you listen to him on Rogan?
I haven't gotten through it yet. I started it.
He's filming soon, which we just talked about because we're like, why the fuck doesn't he record? But he was alluding to the fact that he was just going to do a half hour.
Interesting. That would be unfortunate. I mean, it would be good, but
yeah, his reason was he just saw Earthquake's half hour, and it was just joke after joke after joke after joke, and it wasn't like a puzzle piece thing that he was putting together.
Yeah.
To hit an hour, and I'm like, dude, you put out like one of the best hours ever. Shut up.
And he has so much material. His confidence really fucks him over.
I know. He has 0.
Yeah, he was so hilarious. And Norton was very funny. We saw Norton there. Trying to think of the other highlights. But yeah, it was a great time.
Skankfest is eventually going to be doing like outdoor amphitheaters. It's going to be huge.
Well, so it's interesting because I think they said they did double what they did last year. I think they had like 1,500 or 2,000 last year, and I think this year was around 3,000. But the thing is, if you get any more than that, like the reason it's cool is because it's like a hang in this big area where it's like 5 or 6 stages. It would be tough to find gigantic venues like that hold 10,000 people or whatever.
Oh yeah, no, you're not gonna. You'd have to
change what it is, which I hope they don't do.
You'd have to go literally to like the Tweeter Center and set up stages outside.
Or I think the best way would be is if they just find a fucking field somewhere, set up 6 tents, 7 tents, whatever.
Shane's gonna love that with the Juggalo comparisons.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, literally do that. I think that might be the way to do it. But Vegas was kind of the perfect place for it, I thought. I would never go back to Vegas. Like I think I said, my buddy had his bachelor party in Vegas, and I just said I couldn't do it because I would get fucking law. Like if I don't have someone helping me out,
right? Yeah.
I'd be law. I'd be toast. I'd be holding everyone back. It wouldn't be fun for anyone.
Alba's
I also don't gamble and any of that. So what would I even do there?
Yeah, Alba's not going to a bachelor party. So
right. So, like I just wouldn't enjoy that if I wasn't going for a reason. But also, it just seems like such a shit show. Like Fremont Street, where we were staying, we stayed at the Circa Hotel, which is really nice, by the way. I think I stayed in the 2 nicest hotel rooms I've ever been in, at the Circa and Caesar's Palace.
Yeah,
first hotel I've ever stayed with a minibar, by the way. Didn't use it, but
you stayed at some fucking dumps then.
Oh yeah. You know what they do? You know what these cunts do? So we didn't take anything from the minibar, but we looked at like, oh shit, fucking a nip of Jack Daniels is $19, and a pack of M&Ms is $12, and like we're just looking at the prices and shit.
Yep.
And so we opened the fridge, so they have like sensors.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you take it off long enough,
they're like, oh, you opened the fridge. I guess you drank everything in it.
Yeah.
And so they'll just charge you, and most people don't look. So we just went down to the counter when we checked out and was like, yeah, we didn't take anything. And they were like, okay. But if you don't look at that, they just fuck you.
So I went to Encore in Boston or Everett, I don't know, a few months ago with my wife, and we got there. We were looking at the mini bar or whatever the fuck was in there, and we took something off to look at it, and there's like a thing underneath with the price on it, and it's like, you better put this back if you don't want to spend money on it.
Yeah,
there's sensors on literally every like square inch of all that shit. So if
can't you just send someone up after you check out to take inventory?
Yeah, I like you said, that's probably just a money making scheme.
Of course it is. Yeah,
but $19 for a fucking shot.
It was insane. Yeah. So I'm sure they get a lot of people like that. But they were very nice rooms, and the Circa was pretty cool. I think it's like the biggest sports book. It can't be the biggest one in the world. I'm sure that's a lie that they tell people, but I think they said something like that.
In Vegas, I believe it.
It was pretty huge though. And
Vegas is probably definitely the biggest one.
I'll say, but I don't know if the Circa. I was just thinking, like as I was saying it, I was like, Caesars or MGM or something must have a bigger one. But for anyone that thinks the Barstool electric chair stuff is fake, I was watching my group wanted to do some gambling Sunday morning. So I just went over and watched the start of the football games. Nice thing about the West Coast, football just starts at 10 a.m.
Oh, that must be so awesome.
It's fucking awesome. So I went over and watched the football games, and these groups of people that have never met and are just gambling on the games congregate. Yeah, fuck yeah.
They probably all have like $5,000 minimum on each game.
Yeah. So yeah, it was the Barstool electric chair vibe.
I like it.
But yeah, it was that was fun. But Fremont Street is so it lights up at night, and they have the whole street lights up and changes colors, and it's kind of cool. Like visually, even for me, it was kind of cool. But they blast music so loud. You know how you say at like a nightclub you can't hear each other speak?
Or Laugh Boston before Brendan Schaub goes
Or
on.
or Laugh Boston for some reason before a comedy show.
Yep.
I mean, it's like they took that and doubled the volume. I mean, maybe tripled because it's outdoors, and they still managed to you can't hear yourself think. It's so fucking loud, and they have multiple different, outlets of music going on at the same time. So it's just nauseating. It fucking warps your mind walking down that street. And then I mentioned this on KMS, but I don't know the purpose of this. Girls come up to you topless and will just be like, take a picture. I'm like, no, thank you.
Take a picture.
Yeah. I'm like, no. And they're
I'll take a hug without the picture, please.
Yeah. They're like, what are you, gay? I'm like, no. All right, ladies, that's enough. But I'm wondering, obviously they charge for those pictures. So I saw enough of them that it has to be a decent business.
Oh, for sure. You know how many weirdo, drunk, horny guys are like, yeah, you want to come to my room too?
That's what I'm saying is imagine if your buddy hey, look at me, I'm with a topless girl. It's cool.
Fucking sick.
You're a really cool guy. You must have fucked her.
It's like guys that get pictures with Hooters girls when they go to the restaurant. You're like, why?
Oh, what a sad genre of men. Jordan Peterson would have had a field day at this place.
I have
recruits.
I just see if I can find it. I have a picture of me when I'm 13 with Hooters girls because my dad.
Oh, that's fine. That's when you're like, ooh, boobies.
I didn't even want to do it. My dad made me do it because he thought it was funny.
You're not going to grow up to be a Mary.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Couldn't.
Yeah, and there really were. It's amazing if you go to Fremont Street and then go to the Strip. You're like, oh, this is high society. My God, what a classy place this is. We went to Spago, which I think is one of Wolfgang Puck's restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pretty nice restaurant, and it's amazing. As much as shit is probably overpriced, it's amazing when you eat great food like that, where you're like, I mean, how much better can fucking bolognese really be? And then you're like, oh wow, they've found something here. They've mastered it.
It can be way better.
I guess it can be a lot better.
especially steaks.
Yeah, I'm not a huge steak guy, honestly.
You haven't had the right one yet.
Maybe that's right. Maybe I should. That's what I should have tried there. Because I was like, they only have 10 options. So I'm like, I'd like a mozzarella stick. Why, where are my nuggets?
When you go to casinos and shit, though, if you go to a steakhouse, a side of mac and cheese is $25.
Oh yeah, they really fuck you with the prices all over the place. There, not even there was a 24-hour diner type place in the casino, and that place just gouges you with prices.
You gotta find the one that's the one that's reasonable.
Yeah, I mean they had some hot dog stand right near where Skankfest was, and dollar slices, but the people that had those did not have great reviews of them. I didn't have one.
Foot bucking murderer wants to know how was the couscous.
Well, foot bucking murderer, I'll tell you. It's funny you should ask. I did not have it, unfortunately. None there.
I thought you were gonna be like, yeah, I totally did.
You eat a meal twice in your life, and it really never leaves you, huh?
I think it was twice within a short amount of time, and the delivery of the couscous.
I suppose that was it.
Lives on.
All right. Is there any other Skankfest questions before we move on from that? From you or the chat.
Not I, and not the chat.
All right, they're always good to see that they're uninterested in a topic I've spent 40 minutes on.
Also talking. I mean, we're at a weird time too. We do have Kirk 5K who said we need a meetup at Taffer's Tavern.
It's not a bad idea. We might have to do that at some point.
Yes.
Recapture the magic of our evening with Brendan Schaub.
Yeah, might have said I might have tried to go with live show, but that was turned down quickly.
Well, what the fuck? What do you think? I'm made of money? How am I going to rent out that place? You ever seen Arsenal Yard? You ever seen Arsenal Yard in Watertown? It's beautiful.
I'll walk in, I'll wear a suit, and I'll say, "You guys need business." So we're gonna do a show here, and people will drink a lot.
You know what I'd like to see is so we've been seeing these reviews. I'd like to see what business is like there.
I do want to eat. I want to eat there more than almost anywhere.
I'm telling you, it's good.
What if
we walk in and just a fucking tumbleweed rolls by? There hasn't been anyone in there in weeks.
Do you think it's anyone that he went into their restaurant and was like, "This place fucking sucks, shut it down," and they're taking it out on him now via Yelp?
I don't know. Why would they choose this random location in Watertown?
How many of them are there?
3. I think this is his third one.
Where are the other 2?
One was in Atlanta. I forget where the other one is.
And how are those reviews for those ones? Are they also
No idea. I don't know.
Taffer's Tavern, Atlanta. Atlanta, Georgia. Let's see. Oh, you know, it's got 3.5, almost 4 out of 5 stars. So that's
not great though. That's not phenomenal.
No, but you're gonna like I think a 3.5 out of 5 on Yelp is like amazing.
Because anyone who doesn't like it is gonna give it a 1.
Yeah, you get those DEC people that fucking come off writing terrible things about people's restaurants.
No, let's not besmirch the man. He also likes writing a good review. When he's at good service, he'll write that too.
It's so much better than writing mean ones, though. Let me find a. Let me see if. Oh, I don't have Yelp on my computer, so I can't. I was gonna be like, let me find a 1-star and see what I'm dealing with here.
Those bastards.
Motherfuckers.
They don't let you read reviews unless you have an account. That's horse shit.
Let me click this and check. It shows 2. All right, here we go. There'll be a 1-star in here somewhere, right? All I'm seeing is 4 and 5 stars. So
unbelievable.
I mean, here's one. How do you mess up a melted cheese, aka queso? Go to this place and find out. The build is nice. The food is so mediocre, and that's being generous. It'll be closed within 18 months. I am never this harsh, but it's a shame they spent so much money on the build only to put out lousy product on the table.
This is gonna be like when I watched the Sopranos movie. Like I haven't had this food in long enough that eventually I'm gonna be like, did it suck? Maybe it did.
Well, me and you watched the Sopranos movie and literally recorded 4 seconds after it ended.
I was in too good a mood.
That was great, right? And I remember, because this was right before the Sacco show. One of them the
night before, yeah,
the night before, and I saw Clemmer at Sacco, and he was so fucking pissed that I liked it. He was so mad.
Well, he's got other things to be mad about now. So.
Yeah.
All right. What do we have for time here? We want to talk about our old pal Brendan Schaub real quick.
We can do that.
Why not?
Because he's a fucking idiot.
I gotta tell you, I think I told our boy Lieutenant Kirk sent us this. He is our Brendan Schaub correspondent. He's on the Brendan Schaub beat for us.
I wonder if we're gonna have this similar thought. But go ahead.
I kind of want to defend him.
I do too.
Lieutenant Kirk said, "We've lost you."
Well, I don't think he meant.
I don't either. So we'll play it. But I guess Brendan Schaub is getting a lot of shit for this in the MMA community. And this might be a case of people wanting to pile on Brendan Schaub, but you guys decide for yourselves.
I mean, Mr. Makachev is going to take him down, and he will take
Pause
him.
1 second. I guess I should preface it. What is this gentleman's name?
Makachev.
What's his first name?
I don't know. Some UFC fighter named Makachev.
I think it's like Israel or something, isn't it?
Let me see. Israel. Makachev. I don't know how to spell any of this, so this isn't going well.
Okay. Well, never mind. Anyways, he is an MMA fighter of Middle Eastern descent, correct?
Yes.
That's important to know. So just wanted to throw that in there.
Islam Makachev.
Islam. I knew it was something like that that made it more racist. Yes, that makes more sense. Islam Makachev.
He will take him down. Now, he's going to take him down, and he's going to hold him there.
And just hold him.
And he's either going to submit him.
Oh, absolutely not.
Crazy talk, right?
You think he's going to pound him and then
Or
rear
he's
naked?
going to pound him over the course of
25 minutes?
rounds.
25 minutes.
Yeah, and that's a really hard
And you
thing
think,
to deal with.
and you don't
Now.
think, and now, hold on. Nope, no. You're not
Let
doing
me give
that.
a
No,
caveat.
nope.
Can't I give a
Because you want to play
caveat?
both lanes. I'm letting you. You just ride with Makachev, you fucking terrorist. No, the thing is, though, is
So I guess that is what people had. Now people are calling Brendan Schaub racist, essentially, for saying that because Brian Callen is going with Islam Makachev, he is a terrorist. Now, I would say that's the same way where if you criticize a black person, someone's like, "Oh, I guess you're a racist." That like kidding around.
I took it as Brian was trying to do like 7 different things to make a caveat on an argument, so he just called him a terrorist, like because of that. I didn't think it had anything to even do.
Oh, I think that might be giving him too much credit. No, I think Brendan saw a person of Middle Eastern descent and associated it with terrorism. That level of racism, I'll give you. But I think Brendan, for once in his life, was trying to be funny. It didn't hit, but he was trying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess he's getting a bunch of shit for that, huh?
He's gonna get shit for the rest of his life for anything he does ever.
It's weird, man. So the same thing we said about Amy Schumer. Do you know people would have lost it at Skankfest if they said, "Ladies and gentlemen, Brendan Schaub"?
See, I don't know.
I think they would have. I think people would have gone bananas
The thing is,
because we're ready to root for him.
Are we? Amy used to be one of the boys.
Right. True.
That's the difference, I think.
Yeah, Brendan's never really been one of the boys, I guess.
No, he started above everyone.
That's fair, but I think what's the word I'm looking for? The assumption maybe, if Schaub came out at Skankfest, would be that he's ready to play. He's ready to be one of the boys. He's ready to be self-deprecating and make fun of himself.
He's got the confidence that I think in like 5 years he might be like legit.
You know, it was at the show that Whitney Cummings showed up at.
Mm-hmm.
There's one guy behind us. He's absolutely bombed. And he just starts going, he's going, fucking Legion of Skanks are simping for this bitch. I heard him say that, and I was like, okay. It was just like a comment you've seen on Reddit a million times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, whatever. And he goes, these guys fucking loose, and these guys are simping for this stupid bitch. I'm like, all right, buddy. I start kind of like looking at him, giving him the side eye, like, yeah, we got it. And then he goes, these fucking guys, these guys are sipping for this bitch. And he said it, I mean, maybe 40 times.
How long? I have a question. I do have a question about Whitney Cummings. How long did she let this guy like finger?
Kind of a while. I mean, it was over the pants, so let's keep that straight, but kind of a while.
Good for him, I guess.
Yeah.
He probably went immediately home, didn't touch anything, and just sniffed his hand.
That's what I mean. That joke was made in many different variations.
Sure it was.
Yeah. but I like a guy who's obviously on Reddit that just was coming out because he was so shit-faced. And eventually, one of the girls I was with turned to him and goes, "Just leave. Other people are enjoying it."
Was her boyfriend like, "Shut the fuck up"?
Yeah, be quiet. Oh, one of the guys we were with is an EMT, by the way, and may have saved Joe DeRosa's life.
When he slipped?
Yeah.
Were you right there for that?
Oh, you saw that?
I saw the picture.
Yeah. So Joe DeRosa was on stage. I thought did very well. His new hour is very funny.
Yep,
He gets off stage, and some girl comes on, and she starts doing her set. And all of a sudden, we hear "Ah!" and there's a commotion going on. And the kid I was with, who's an EMT, leaps into action, runs over. We're like, what the hell's going on? And Alba goes, I think Joe DeRosa fell in a puddle. I guess he slipped in someone spilled their beer, and DeRosa slipped in it and just yelled in agony. And my buddy rushed over to help him out. And I guess later, DeRosa went up to him.
Mhm.
I think he reintroduced himself. He's like, hey, I'm the guy that helped you out earlier. And Joe was like, oh, thanks, man. He's like, hey, do you know anything I can do? Like, my rib hurts. But he's asking for, like, techniques. I'm like, he's an EMT, not a doctor. We're all experts.
If your ribs were loose, he can hold them in place till you get to the people that know how to fix
Yeah, he'll tell you to elevate your legs.
it.
No, I have no idea what the EMTs do. Honestly, I'm sure it's very intricate.
Best meal in Vegas from Paul in Rhode Island.
I mean, I guess I got to say Spago.
Yeah,
It was certainly the most expensive meal.
so it better been the best.
Best have been the best. But yeah, no, Spago was very good. They have all the, Guy Fieri has his restaurants there, and Gordon Ramsay, all the muckety mucks in the chef world.
What was Shane Gillis's PTSD Guy Fieri?
That's what I kept thinking of as we passed
Was
Flavor
he-
Town.
Yeah, that was funny.
What was I saying before that? How did we get on Joe DeRosa?
We were talking about Whitney Cummings getting fingered.
Yeah. Brendan Shaw. I don't know.
Did she like it?
She didn't seem overjoyed.
Now, how'd that come up? Whose idea was that?
I don't really remember. I mean, hers. I think it was like, I don't really remember it. I'd have to go back and listen. It was all a lot of pandemonium. I know that it was centered around this guy having a tiny dick and his experience with women, basically. And I think it was him, like, her saying that he wouldn't be able to find her vagina or something like that. So he patted around for it.
Well, I guess maybe if you found it right away, then I guess it would have ended quicker.
I suppose, yeah.
Imagine doing that, and then she's just like, "You're not even fucking close."
He's on the top of her head.
Yeah.
Also, we got to defend our boy Karl here.
Oh, right.
Have you seen? There's a war brewing. I don't know if you saw this.
Is this the clip you sent me?
Yeah.
I have not listened to it yet.
I'll be back on WATP this week, by the way.
Oh, what's the
Wednesday? Don't know what show I'm doing yet. Someone told me to suggest Mean Girls, the Barstool podcast, but I think they just did a Barstool one. They went after Glenny Balls.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, for his OnlyFans one?
Yeah. Which I like. That Glenny Balls seems like a nice guy, but it is like, I like the idea of saying, like, hey, let's take the one part of the Howard Stern show that doesn't hold up and talk to porn stars.
Apparently, the crazy thing is, like, I mean, with that crowd, I guess everyone's gonna be like tits, but yeah, it's pretty successful.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, then I mean, good for him. I guess I'm wrong if it's doing well, but I just don't find. Well, I think the last time I was on WATP, we did an OnlyFans podcast. We reviewed an OnlyFans podcast, and they do very well, also, I guess. So there must be something to it, but I just don't see the appeal of. I guess with OnlyFans, it's a little different since it's a new industry, so it's interesting to hear about that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's like, yeah, you do porn. That doesn't necessarily make you interesting.
I guess so. Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird topic. I mean, how many questions can you really ask?
Right. Yeah, I would think it would get old after a while, and I don't. The better way to say it is not even that the topic would get old, but only a girl on OnlyFans. Karen Fian is on OnlyFans, but she's very funny. She's a funny comedian. But for the most part, a girl is on OnlyFans not because she's a great talker or personality. It's because she's very attractive,
Right.
you know, or has something that is attractive to a large quantity of people. It doesn't make them an interesting 45-minute discussion, you
'Cause
know?
a lot of them never did porn before, and I think an interesting porn topic is like the dark side of porn,
Sure.
like the shit.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
So like maybe the people that have dabbled in regular porn first, and like, what's the benefits? You don't have to deal with this guy doing this, or like you have to.
I'm not a dabbler.
Yeah, yeah,
People enjoyed your Stuttering John impression, by the way.
yeah. I saw some people say that, and I was like,
Yes.
I didn't. Sure, thanks.
Well, we're taking a week off of Stuttering John, but I do have to defend my guy, Karl. I figure I'm going in there this week, so I want to, you know, make sure our ducks are in a row here. Make sure he knows we have his back, because he's in the midst of a war with a gentleman by the name of Chad Zumock. Are you familiar?
I've heard that name.
He seems like a real pain in the ass, this guy.
For real?
He is a guy who is so insufferable that Kevin Brennan found him annoying.
Is that why I know his name?
Even Kevin Brennan was like, Jesus, dude, get away from me. You're a pain in the ass.
I did hear. I clicked this video to get to the timestamp because when I got back from the doctors, I kind of just pulled this up.
Yep.
And Stuttering John was the first thing I heard.
Yeah, so I think this is one of the many podcasts that talks about Stuttering John and things like that. This in a way relates to Stuttering John, but also doesn't. So if you guys don't know Chad Zumock, he's a comic, he's a stand-up that he's in that world of kind of trolling. Like he used to be on Kevin Brennan's show. He used to be friendly with like Anthony Cumia. I think he burnt all of his bridges.
That's why I know him.
Yeah, I think he burnt a lot of bridges and has no real friends in comedy anymore. At least not ones that want to, help him out. So he's kind of off on his own now and always trying to, make a name for himself, which good for him, I guess. But he was on Karl's show, I guess, a few months ago. I don't remember. I don't think I heard the episode. I don't remember him being on, but they said it was like epically bad. Like he was really bad and like not playing along. And I guess he was trying to troll them, but it didn't work. And so it was just a bad episode. But Karl was a good sport and just like, got through it. And then, never invited him on again.
They didn't have like a Shikala situation to save that from happening.
They did not. No, it was straight. It was the opposite of Shikala. It was just straight uncomfortable, I guess. And, Karl got through it. And then Chad would email Karl and try to get back on the show and things like that. And Karl kind of ignored it. Didn't really have any interest. And then Chad would start talking shit. And then Karl kind of ignored that for a while. And I guess it got to the point where last week Karl responded to it and was finally like, just fuck this guy. Because now he's been going after Karl and Anthony and Chrissy Mayer and these other people in that world. And he's basically just trying to get attention. So I just found it interesting for this reason. So this clip is from the Insufferable Bastards podcast. It was just the easiest clip to pull. And they did a pretty good job breaking this topic down. But I just wanted to play for a little bit to give you a vibe of the way they went after Karl. So you guys have listened to me on there, I'm sure, and hopefully keep listening to Karl even when I'm not on there. But he breaks down other shows and he has a good time mocking other podcasts. And he's always said, like, you could probably do that to me if you wanted to. Other podcasts could make fun of Karl. And sometimes that could be fun. Chad goes about it in the word. He doesn't have that skill. What Karl does is it takes a talent. You can't just be like, hey, these guys are idiots. Like there has to be some craft to making fun of them.
Right.
Chad doesn't have that skill set, I don't think, based on this clip.
But he starts off addressing Karl specifically with this comment.
And by the way, don't act like the difference between me and you, I was popular in high school. Okay. I played sports.
No.
That's not a joke.
Oh no, 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 no.
He's not joking. He's saying he was a cool guy. Now, Chad, from the little I know of Chad, he seems like a guy who probably was popular in high school, and that is where he still lives to this day, in those memories. He has not grown up at all. He has not evolved. He has not changed. He's still yearns for the glory days of bashing nerds in high school, and that's how he tries to approach taking down Karl.
That is so upsetting.
Can we hear a little more?
Oh yeah, I rewound it a little. I have to hear that without me groaning over it.
The difference between me and you, I was popular in high school. I played sports. I was class clown.
I played sports.
I was class clown. So was I.
Imagine a comic hanging their hat on that.
I was class clown. Have I ever brought that up before?
No, it's unbelievable because we don't believe you.
I'll have to find it. I'll find my yearbook.
Well, okay, you know what, Chad? There you go. That's who you're in the ranks amongst. Is Craig. You and Craig were class clowns. Congratulations.
I've never dunked on someone with that information.
It's like Stuttering John saying he had good grades. I had really good grades in school. Who gives a fuck? Could you imagine if, they're introducing, let's say, I'm trying to think of someone, later in their years right now. I don't know. Carl Reiner still alive?
Sure.
All right. Say Carl Reiner. The Emmys or the Oscars, they're going to honor Carl Reiner with a Lifetime Achievement Award. And they're like, this guy, I mean, you may know him from a lot of things, particularly being class clown in high school.
He died 2 years ago.
Damn it. Well, that's what we remember him for.
Right. It's on his tombstone.
Class clown. Imagine having any accolades in comedy and hanging your head on class clown.
All right, next time to the stage. He was class clown in high school.
Oh, the spitballs I would use. If there was an art to the way I did it. It wasn't any old spitball.
I would turn my class into Pee-wee's Playhouse. It was really fun.
Oh, I had perfectly timed fart noises.
Honestly, is there anything funnier than a fart in a high school class?
It was right when the teacher was trying to make a point, and I'd hit him with one.
Dude, some kid used to fart in class in the middle, like while we were taking tests. It was the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life.
That must have been a tough guy for you to take down as class clown.
Yeah, I still got him. I put him in a body bag, dude.
Was he your rival?
I played sports, so I threw him in my locker.
Listen. A lot of people have great stories from high school. I'm not saying you can't have good stories from high school, but there's nothing worse than someone who's 40 and still lives in their high school glory days. Like, that is humiliating.
If I talk about high school or something, I'll like look back at something funny that happened, not like, dude, I was fucking sick at baseball.
Chad has lived more years post high school than he did before high school.
I'm almost there.
He's lived more years since high school, and he's still thinking about it.
It's fucking nuts.
I'm sorry. Let Chad finish his thought here.
Class cutest. I had that superlative. I've always been around the cool kids. That crew is not cool. I know it's your time to shine, and you think you're part of the cool kids now. Chrissy Mayer, Alex Stein, and a fucking 63-year-old drunk Anthony Cumia who may or may not have choked Vinnie Brand's daughter. Your crew's not cool. That's not a cool crew. You guys aren't the cool kids.
Do they want to be?
Imagine having a cool kids argument. Oh my God, what are we doing?
By the way, in your point there, Chad, saying they're not cool, a 63-year-old Anthony Cumia. Is there any 63-year-old that wants to be cool?
Maybe Anthony.
Maybe Anthony. I think he did. Chad called into his show to confront him about this. And he goes, "You hang out with Karl and Chrissy Mayer. You're not cool." And Anthony goes, "I was hanging out with Shane Gillis and Joe Rogan last week," which
That
he was,
should-
I guess.
Oh, that should have been fucking recorded.
I know. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't do the podcast, but
Uh,
anyways, I just thought that was very funny. So fuck Chad's. This show is officially anti-Chad Zumock now.
on record. Oh God.
By the way, his stand-up might be worth diving into.
Okay.
Yeah, so clear your schedule.
I'm in.
Yeah, so we might have to do a little dive into Chad Zumock's new special, which it sounds like I recorded it. Sounds like I pulled out my my telephone, used my screen recording technology, and got to work. So yeah, I'll be on busy week for the kid next week. I'll be
Nice.
on obviously KMS twice, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be on Who Are These Podcasts on Wednesday, and I will be on Daywave Radio with Royce. I believe 2 or 3 days next week.
Oh, really? You're in there.
Yes. Well, he asked me. So when I got off the, oh, I got something to ask you. By the way, God damn it.
Uh-oh.
We'll get there. When I got off the plane, I saw a DM from Royce saying, "Hey, can you hop on today?" And he just sent me the link to the show. It was already done by the time I had gotten there. I was in midair when he messaged me. And I was like, shit, I can't. And then on my way back, he did the same thing. He was like, "Hey, can you hop on today?" They were down a man or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, shit, I'm sorry, man. I hope I didn't fuck you over. I missed you both times, but I can do multiple days next week if that works. And he was like, "Yep, absolutely." So I'll be on there.
There you go.
I think we're buds now. I think if I'm officially part, I don't know if they're the cool kids, but I think I can sit at their lunch table.
Well, if Chad puts out a video bashing you, just know you're with the coolest people
Yeah.
on earth.
Now, here's what I meant to ask you. I should have started the show with this.
Oh, great. I love the beginning of the show topics.
I land in Las Vegas.
Oh,
And
yes.
I see a text from a friend that reads, "Bob Newhart is very much alive." I'm like,
Which
"Okay,
friend? Which friend?
Don't worry about it.
The Warthog?
Don't worry about
Warthog, come on.
it. It doesn't matter."
You should know what's going on.
No, so here's my question to you. Here's why he didn't spoil anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I would have done is seen these tweets telling me specifically that Bob Newhart has died. Notice that it's not trending on Twitter. And searched out, which is what I did. I searched Bob Newhart, saw he was alive and well. What was the plan with this little prank of yours?
That was the VGB. That was not me. I just piled on. I saw what they were doing and jumped in.
Oh, is that right? Because I was gonna ask the tactic. I assumed you put out the bat signal.
No, I think it was like Chef Lewis, Steve's grandma, and Box Eating Dad. Like, we're gonna get him.
Oh, then you know what? I take it back. I'm sorry, boys. That's funny. If they did it, here's what I thought happened: is that Craig posted.
Chef Lewis just called me a narc in the chat.
No.
Narcs
He should have done that because I think these guys are funny. What wouldn't have been funny, would have just been weird, is if Craig posted, "We're gonna get Mike today."
No, I saw their tweets and I was like, yeah, I'll pile on. see if it
Okay,
works.
that's funny then.
Yeah.
I apologize.
I was just staring at my phone the whole time. I assumed you were in the air. Like, when's it coming?
And you know what? That would have been funny if I quote tweeted someone like, "What? Oh, he was a legend."
Yeah, I think that's what their goal was.
All right, that's better. That's better than Craig. Like, "I'm gonna get this motherfucker."
No. I saw it. I was like, it's fun.
I'll tell you, I think the Warthog was as confused as I was because he focused on. He was like, "Why is Craig tweeting this? I don't understand it."
Who did
I was
it?
like, "I don't understand either."
You slipped up there.
All right. Well, I apologize to the VGB.
Come on, Warthog.
Well, hey.
You gotta give the chance of the tweet. The why you laughing curse.
Well, listen, I don't think if a 93-year-old died, it would be my fault. I don't think I would take the blame on that one.
No, I think what their plan was like, that's a believable death.
Oh, for sure.
So they were like, yeah, he won't even look up this one. Like if it was like fucking, I don't know, Nate Bargatze or something.
I wish we had enough people to get that trending on Twitter. That'd be nice.
That would be
That
nice.
Nate Bargatze died.
Yeah.
By the way, I love you know, knock on wood. I love Nate Bargatze. Hope he lives for many years.
If it gets trending on Twitter, he might have you on his podcast or something.
Hey, man.
You still do that, actually, that show?
Nate Land?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. I enjoy it. It's clean. It's
it's
silly.
It's goof. They're just
Yeah.
goofing.
A little
Straight
goof. It's boring to like a lot of people find it very slow, but I enjoy it.
Well, he is a slow talker.
Yeah.
It's kind of why he's funny.
Yeah. Just 4 Southern boys on there talking nonsense.
Is it 4 people now?
Yeah, they added Dusty Slay.
What a fucking name that is.
Oh, do you not know him?
No, that's
He has a half hour on Netflix. That's why I know who he is.
That's an incredible name.
It's a great Southern name.
Dusty Slay.
Dusty Slay.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, well, hey, go check out Nateland.
Shout out Nate Land.
And check out blindmike.net. Subscribe to the Patreon or just support us for free. You guys know the drill. Same with verygoodshow.org.
Yeah. Patreon, it's a benefit to be on the Patreon because you're the only people that got to see our show last week.
Why is that?
I legally can't say why, but something was said that set Mike off that actually legally could have gotten him in trouble. So,
Oh, I'd love to know.
I'd love to tell you, but I can't trust that it won't make airwaves on a different show.
Well, that's wise of you, I suppose. I would say that I won't say anything, but
Exactly.
What else was I going to say? Damn it. Oh, listen to the 9,000 shows I'll be on next week. And if any one of you listens to every minute and can prove that, then you will get a Geary Gold Star for the week. And that earns you nothing.
We could have ended before that, I think. A Geary Gold Star.
I'm telling you, these people are going to want them.
Okay.
They're going to be working. Won't be a lot of people, but there will be people working for these Geary Gold Stars.
I got to fucking get the find out how to get stickers with the Gearhead logo on them and start
We'll
mailing.
start handing them out. Who wants a Geary Gold Star? Well, you better earn one.
Yeah.
Talk to you next time.
I hope to hear from you soon. Until then, have yourself a great day.